Hello everybody, it's Fufu here, and today I'm going to be testing a new item for Pokemon Sun and Moon that you don't see used too much, and some of you may not even be aware of its existence. That is protective pads. What it does is, if you give it to your Pokemon and it uses a contact move on the opponent, and the opponent has an ability or a move or something that has a negative effect when hit by contact moves, you kind of ignore that negative effect. So we're going to test that with a number of things today. Hopefully it'll become a bit more obvious when I go through all the things that we're going to test. But it's just an interesting item. As I say, you don't see it used too much because it's very situational. In competitive battles, it's kind of reliant on your opponent bringing a Pokemon that has one of these abilities or moves, which isn't always the case. And even if it is, it's not necessarily something that's really game-changingly bad. So protective pads aren't really seen too much. But I want to demonstrate to you that they are a cool item and that there are some interesting novelty things that you might be able to do with it. But I haven't tested it at all, so this is new for me and I want to see how this works. So I've got my Hariyama out here. It has the protective pads. I will show you that now. So, summary. You can see that it's got the protective pads there. And I'm going to go for a Brick Break on this Ferrothorn that does have the Iron Barbs, and we'll see if it does anything to stop that. So I'll just go for a Gyro Ball here. Hopefully it won't do too much damage. We'll go for the Brick Break, see what it does. So it does a really good amount of damage, and Iron Barbs activates, but it protects itself with protective pads. How cool is that? Okay, so that's really cool. So that's the most obvious use for protective pads, really, like Rocky Helmet and Iron Barbs. I can understand that it would protect against those things. I'm going to test a couple more things now. So I'm going to switch into my Skuntank, which has the Aftermath ability. What that does is, if it's taken out by a contact move, so if it loses all of its HP when hit by a contact move, it does 25% damage to the opponent. So I'm going to see if that works as well. So that did a ton of damage. This Hariyama is strong. It was actually my playthrough Hariyama, so I think it probably has quite a few attack EVs, but not all of them. But anyway, we're going to go for another Brick Break and see if Aftermath activates or not, because it's not like every contact hit. Yeah, the protective pads work again. That's so cool. Okay, so it's actually got a number of different uses. Obviously, this is an offensive Pokemon, and with offensive Pokemon, you tend to see more offensive items. Although Hariyama has like Assault Vest and things as well, but you could have a Flame Orb Guts Hariyama or a Choice Band Hariyama. Interestingly, Hariyama has just been banned in PU, which is a real shame because I loved it in Trick Room, but that's the thing now. So I'm just going to go for an Earth Power with my Dugtrio and really hope it doesn't take out this Hariyama. I don't think it should. Hariyama should be fine. Yeah, it eats that up. This Dugtrio has Tangling Hair. What that does is, hit by contact move, you lose your speed. Is it going to work? Tangling Hair? No! Okay, so even not just damaging effects, it's also kind of status effects as well. So I'm going to show you, because we've seen a lot of abilities, so I'm going to test another thing, which is a move. So we're going to go for another Brick Break, and we're going to go for a Spiky Shield. If you use a contact move against Spiky Shield, when the opponent protects himself with that, you normally get some damage. So we'll go for Brick Break, obviously it protected itself, and we don't see the Spiky Shield damage there. So that's really cool. Everything is working out great. I'm just going to go for a Fake Out now as I switch in my final test. I don't want to do too much damage. I don't think I'll be able to take this Pokemon out. It is Turtonator. It's a very defensive Pokemon, but just in case, I'm going to go for a Fake Out so it fails. What I'm going to do is set up a Shell Trap. I couldn't say it, why? Okay, and I'm going to go for a Brick Break. Now, Shell Trap is a Fire-type move that activates when hit by a contact move. I'm going to see if the protective pads, how this works. Does it activate and protective pads stop damage, or does it not activate at all? What happens? Shell Trap? Oh, it looks like it's just activating. Well, there you go. So it's not all contact. This one is slightly different because it's not the contact that is causing the damage. It's the contact that is triggering the attack. So let's have a look at that again. But that was quite an interesting one. So protective pads, I think they should stop. Maybe not. I think that maybe like the cushioning of the protective pads would actually mean that Shell Trap wouldn't activate. I think that would have been a nice way to implement it. But this makes sense too, because you're still being hit with the attack, and it's not that the damage isn't from the hit, it's from the activation of the trap. So those were just some interesting experiments with the protective pads. I hope that I've informed some of you who weren't aware of this, and also just thought of some situations that you might not have thought of even if you were aware of protective pads. If you've got anything that you think I didn't test, let me know in the comment section and we can have a discussion about that, other moves that might not be affected by the protective pads. But that's going to be all for today. Thank you very much for watching. I've been foofootoo, you've been awesome, and hopefully see you next time. Goodbye.